This is Trend Following Radio, where great thinking comes alive. Nobel Prize winners, legendary traders, best-selling authors, and the pros that know what drive us irrational human beings. I am your host, Michael Covel. Not filtered, raw, honest. That's my passion. I want to talk about digestion. It sounds kind of funny. I sound a little dogmatic right out of the gate. I want to talk about digestion because I'm genuinely curious about how people digest information. How do they take it in, do something with it, come to a conclusion? It's a really fucked up process if you watch what people do in the modern era. For example, they go to Twitter, they find the person, perhaps a superstar hedge fund manager, some famous trader, a guru. This person makes a pronouncement and says XYZ. And like lemmings, the proletariat run in, wave their arms, and say how wonderful that person is. Now me, I just shake my head. Not because I'm all that. Not because you should think that I'm all that. You should question every damn word I say. You should rip apart every thought I have and try to verify. The old Reagan and Gorbachev. Trust but verify. That's the objective. That's what you want to be doing. So when you see that person on social media, whoever they are, some low-level character or some high-level character, listen to them, perhaps not. But if you are listening, see what they say. What's their information? What's their insight? Now, can you verify that independently? Can you verify that independently? Or are you just sitting there trusting? That's it. You can't verify it and you just have to fucking trust. Is that your world? Is that your life? Is that how you're going to go through life? Don't you already have a headache thinking that that is what you are possibly doing? Now, of course, a lot of people don't do that, but guess what? The vast majority do. They just trust blindly. I think back to trying to figure out this trend following world that I'm in. And of course, like most people, I started off with, hey, look, here's Warren Buffett. Obviously a fantastic investor. I saw things like Liar's Poker. Oh my gosh, Salomon Brothers. I want to work there. But it was that insight of seeing the turtle experiment, the turtle insight. Now that was my first aha moment because I thought, well, okay, this guy is showing these young people how to do something and he's showing more than one person. Now that should cause thinking people to pause. Okay, what the hell? This is repeatable. He's showing more than one person. This is repeatable. I can do this. I don't know what the hell they're doing at the moment in time. I did not know, but I can do this. That's my first thought because it's repeatable. That should be your first thought too. Back to the gurus, the legends, the whoever on Twitter. Okay. Is what they are doing repeatable? Well, we really don't know anymore. We don't have those insights. But back in the day, for myself, seeing something like the turtle experiment, the turtle trading experiment, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can easily go check out my second book, The Complete Turtle Trader, which will run you through the story start to finish. But that wasn't enough. That kind of just opened up the side curtain for me. I could peer into one corner of the room. Wow, look at this trend following stuff. Oh my gosh, they have multiple people who all learned how to do it. That's fascinating. These are my thoughts at the time. But then for me, the real insight was, here are the turtle trend following traders over here. Who are these guys that are completely fucking unrelated? These guys like Keith Campbell, Bill Dunn, John W. Henry, Milburn Ridgefield. What the hell is that? I have no idea. What's the connective tissue? For me, what was the connective tissue? A leap of faith. A leap of faith that I sort of stumbled into. And it wasn't an Excel version of correlation at the time. It was an eyeball correlation. It was looking at the performance data of the turtle traders trading trend following methods, and then starting to learn about other traders trading trend following methods and looking at their performance data. Oh, they're all making 10% this month. That's interesting. They're all losing 6% the next month. Now, I'm paraphrasing here, and these numbers not exact, so knock it off if you're trying to be Mr. Precision. You get my point. You can do the same work that I did and figure it out on your own. But once I saw that there was a connection between the performance data of trend following traders across the spectrum, turtle traders over here, all these other guys, Dunn, Henry, Campbell over here, once I saw they were connected, now that was an insight. That was verification. That was game on, because this, at the moment in time that I had my light bulb moment, and by no means was I some superstar, the only person in the world that knew this. Plenty of, obviously, the traders knew it. They knew what the hell was going on. They just weren't talking about it. But as a young guy starting out, I was like, well, I want to talk about this. I want to explain this. I want to share this insight. To this day, I don't think you can find anything anywhere across the Wall Street Journal, Investors Business Daily, Barron's, Financial Times that truly explains this particular insight to where these traders were doing the same damn thing. I just thought that was the most fascinating insight ever. It's become, for me, the foundation of multiple books. It's become the foundation of this podcast. Becoming very good at understanding trend following, living in the trend following world, allowed me to develop this podcast where I get to talk to all these great traders. And then one thing led to another, and I have added to the perspective of the podcast, where I have people come on this podcast that are completely unrelated to trading. Now, that doesn't sound connected, does it? That doesn't sound like part of the plan, does it? The plan, right? The plan. You must do everything in the horse blinders mindset. And yes, I just did a tangent switch, a tangent jump to something that you will see comes full circle in a few moments, because it's all in the trend following headspace. I map out having that insight. Here is the insight of how trend following works. Here's the connective tissue. Everyone's doing the same damn thing. That is illuminating. First point. Second point, my tangent that I'm talking about right now, going off in another direction. I'm doing a trading podcast. But it made perfect sense to go down the path of having behavioral professors on the podcast, psychological experts. This is the foundation of why trend following is successful, because the great practitioners figured out that you needed to harness, our unpredictable emotional states that we roll into, and that rules were better than us being the discretionary pilot at the head of the controls. So if we could just sit still and follow our rules, we would be much better off. But again, I kind of, instead of just being only trend following, I went down the path of expanding this podcast. I followed the next iteration. I followed the next movement. I did not know where it would lead me. Now, I've led my life this way too. You take a step, you wait, you adjust, and the priors count. The priors count. So if you take a step to the right and it's going in a good direction, you keep taking another step to the right. And then all of a sudden, if you have to step forward, you step forward, but you keep adjusting to each piece of information that comes in, and you build off that. So I've done that with my podcast. I adjust to new information that comes in. I interviewed Daniel Kahneman, great psychologist, won the Nobel Prize. that enabled me to basically interview anybody, because if you have Kahneman on your podcast, who's going to say no? I mean, plenty of people have said no. Actually, you know what? I can't really say that plenty of people have said no. I've probably only had 3 or 4, maybe 5 direct, I just don't want to do this. And you know what? They usually are never really mean about it. They just say, I'm not doing interviews or whatnot. But I've never had the people just say no. And it's because of Kahneman. But it's also because of my method. My method was I was not locked into a plan. Now you're going to see how this comes back to the trend following mindset. Or if you are already feeling my direction, you know why this is the trend following mindset, because it's the Bayesian mindset. The priors count and you keep updating and you follow the damn trend. You don't know where the trend is going to go, but you follow the trend. Now, can you live your life that way? Can you live your life that way? Can you live your trading that way? I would venture to say that most people can't. Most people cannot do it because we are trained as young people to sit there in school and to plan. When I was in 6th grade, I told everybody I wanted to be an architect. I still look at fantastic skyscrapers and I say, gosh, that looks like such a fun thing to do, to design those buildings. But you know, life paths go in different directions and you follow what happens. At least that's what I've done. Plenty of people don't do that. Plenty of people set the damn plan in motion in high school. I will get married by blank year. I will have XYZ job. I will have XYZ amount of kids. But I got to tell you, at some point in time, and no means here, and by no means here, am I trying to say that I've got it all figured out, because I don't. But I'm willing to be open to what happens next. My plan is not so rigid that I know what's going to happen. And I'm always adjusting to what might be the next best step to take based on the prior bit of information. That's Trend Following 101 right there. That's the Bayesian statistical mindset right there. Look at my father, for example. Very successful guy, doctor, dentist, orthodontist. Has worked for himself his whole career. Very admirable. A lot of planning, though. And I think sometimes when he talks to his son, who exists in this Bayesian mindset, it's difficult for him because he had to stay in a certain parameter, a certain set direction. He had to plan. Whereas I don't know that I have a particular plan. I have projects. I have things that build on one another, that build on prior steps, but I keep adjusting. I don't know what the new information is going to do to me. I don't think that when I was 18 or 25 or 30 or 35 that I knew enough to say I'm locked in, because I never want it to be closed off, because I never know what's going to happen. And if you don't know what's going to happen, which is the truth, none of us know what the hell is going to happen, then you want to be open to the opportunity. As Mr. Bill Dunn, one of the great trend following traders, once described his flagship program, TOPS, Targets of Opportunity System, a very military defense terminology. Targets of opportunity. Well, you've got to be open to that. You've got to be ready for that. If your life is completely built on a plan, you're going to wake up at age 30, age 40, age 50, age 60, and you will not be able to adjust to the new information because you've not trained your mind to see the new information. You're blocked off. The horse blinders are on. You've got the sleeping mask on. You've got the earplugs in. You can't see or hear a damn thing. Not because you're a bad person. Again, not because I'm all that or I think I'm the smartest guy around. Not my point. But I'm open. And you should be wide open as well. Now, where does this go in terms of trading? In terms of trend following? I told you I'd bring this full circle. Well, look at your investments. Do you have to make money off a certain market? Or do you care where you make your money? Why should you care where you make your money from in the markets? Why do you care? What psychological defect do you have that forces you to care where you make your money from? Where the money comes from is not material. You just want to make money. Now, I'm talking about the markets right now. I'm talking about trading, investing. Oh, I must make the money in the S&P. What the hell are you talking about? You must realize that's a brain defect. Now, you can fix that brain defect, but it's currently a brain defect. I think that's a fair assessment. If you say to yourself, I must make my money in the S&P, that is a brain defect, a problem, something to fix. I found this great meme the other day, right in the headspace of where I'm going right now. The first line, it says, do you have a problem? Now you have a choice. Do you have a problem? Yes or no? Well, if you don't have a problem, then don't worry. There you go. Boom. If you don't have a problem, don't worry. But on the other side of the equation, do you have a problem? Yes. Yes, I have a problem. Well, the next thought is, can you do something about it? No, you can't do something about it. Well, if you have a problem and you can't do something about it, then don't worry. It's right back to the, do you have a problem? No, don't worry. Do you have a problem? Yes. Can you do something about it? No, then don't worry. You see, this is very Zen, right? Now, you also have the final piece of this meme. Do you have a problem? Yes, I've got a problem. Can you do something about it? Yes, I can. Then don't worry. You keep coming back to the point of don't worry. And don't worry is a form of being open-minded to the opportunity, whatever that opportunity might be. But that decision tree that I just read, that meme, that's right back to the trading, right back to the, why do I have to make my money in the S&P? You see, this is all connected. It's all in our minds. We are ultimately settlers, journeymen, taking off across the Wild West. Of course, yes, we're in the modern age, social media and all the rest and all the gurus and all the Twitter bullshit and all that kind of fun stuff. I get it. But ultimately, to be successful, we're on the East Coast, it's the 1800s, and we're going to the Western states in America. We don't know what is going to happen. We don't know what the opportunity is going to be. And we have to survive. That's the first step. We have to survive. I keep talking about opportunities and making money and adjusting the Bayesian mindset, but you have to survive first. So assuming survival, assuming you're not dead, we're right back to, why are you trying to make all your money in the S&P again? Why don't you just worry about what the hell the opportunity is? What's the market movement right now? What's the trend right now? What's the trend that you can get on right now? What's the plan of attack that you're going to use that allows you to get on nascent trends at the beginning that you can exit after big moves in markets that you don't know anything about fundamentally? That is a wonderfully wise way to approach the markets, trading, and life. And I'm just lucky that I got exposed to all these great people, all these great mentors. They took me, an average-minded guy from the suburbs, and said, Mr. Covel, you will no longer think like you're average. You will now know how the game works. Here's how the game works. Now play by the rules and go. And the rules, oh, by the way, are we don't know what the fuck will happen on the next particular day. So be ready. And that's how you play. Is that the way that you play? I see a time when those awake will understand how to make money in up, down, and surprise markets. Whether new trader or experienced, college student or financial advisor, protecting against a crash or just trying to make a lot of money, trend following offers everyone an answer in uncertain times. To get started immediately, send me an email, michael@covel.com, I will send you the right trend following steps to take along with my free video. But if you want to buy and hold, trust the government and trust Wall Street, this is absolutely not for you.